I didn't touch your stuff.
Touch my chair.
I didn't touch your chair.
All right.
I didn't even move. I was here the whole time.
Man, I told you don't touch his chair.
I didn't touch his chair. Chase Claypool practiced yesterday. He's a giant.
Big boy.
He's a moose.
Especially on the field with ants.
Yeah. He said that he's confident that he can grasp the playbook as he gets here.
There's a lot of motion shifts, 2 motions, before the ball snapped. And, I've been doing a lot of studying, and I don't think it'll be too long. It is a complex playbook, but I feel pretty good, especially this first day of practice.
All right, so thinks he's going to grasp it. Yeah.
I said the same thing. And I told you what my first game experience was with Minnesota.
Yeah, you figured it out.
With a lot of help.
Here was him saying that he's just happy not to be in a losing situation right now.
I think that when you lose like a lot of games in a row, there's frustration naturally. I think, that's new for everybody, I'm sure, from the top down. So I think just being excited, about getting some wins and stuff like that. I think that just comes naturally. And once you start winning, things start getting less frustrating, obviously.
I appreciate his efforts.
What does that mean?
He wasn't losing in Pittsburgh.
Well, they never lose in Pittsburgh. But
my point being is that that's now 2 teams that he's been disgruntled.
He has been disgruntled.
So I'm not saying that a new situation is not going to help or give him a clean slate.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is that the reason why he's here is because he was disgruntled at two other spots.
Yeah, because he got traded for the 32nd pick, something like that. Yeah. He got traded for a high pick.
Right.
And now he went for nothing.
Right.
In a year.
Right. So, look, I hope it works out.
Me too.
But
I'm going into it with 0 expectations on him, though. I'm really like, it's one of these things where it's like, it feels like the Dolphins they're at such a luxury with their wide receivers, especially when you have, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Braxton Berrios has been good. I get it. They don't have River Craig. Although Cedric Wilson was good the last game. He probably had his best game as a Dolphin the last game around. So you have all these situations where whatever Chase Claypool adds is a luxury, I guess. But I know he's different. Like, look, he's a moose. He's not like the rest of the guys that they get. So I get the appeal of having him. He's fast. He's big. You just hope he's not a pain in the ass.
Right.
But
it don't cost you nothing if he is.
Right. But I hope he realizes, because last year, I think everybody was looking in there.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Say that last statement again.
I don't remember what I said.
I hope he gets it this time.
Yeah. For the first time?
We're familiar with how this works, right?
What do you mean?
When do athletes get it? It happens, right? But we have history on our side that says if you've been an issue in 2 other places, eventually you'll be an issue.
Probably.
Right. So
unless they have success. And if they do, it quiets it. It quiets it, right?
You know what it does? It just puts it in a box, but it's there.
Right. And it makes it more tolerable too. If you
and wait, how much success he gonna have here?
I don't know.
You see?
Yeah, I don't know. This was Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle was asked about Claypool and says he's a giant.
Oh man, I told him, bro, he looked like a freaking machine moving out there. He got a big frame, man. That's one thing that stands out. And for his size, he's picking them up and putting them down. So definitely, I'm excited to see him play. Excited to see him work with him, all that type of stuff. So we're excited about him.
There you go, Jalen Waddle. Had our first Waddle last week.
Yep.
Great catch.
They've had that play a while. They've done it a couple of times where he just threw it to the back of the defender and Waddle goes up and gets it. I hope it works out for Chase Claypool because I think he's a monster. But especially with that position, right? Like happiness for a wide receiver is short term, right?
Yeah, well, but like, yeah, going back to with this situation, why it's different is like I think he went to the Bears. You know, they traded from in the middle of last
Wanted
year.
to be the guy.
Yeah, wanting to be the guy, hoping I'm gonna be the guy. Here he's not gonna be. He's not even gonna be the second guy. Like, you know,
I know, but that doesn't just go away.
I know. That's why. But I wonder if that does anything for him as far as like I gotta. Like nobody here, I think, can see a scenario where Chase Claypool is gonna. I mean, certainly you're not gonna surpass Tyreek Hill, and I'd be very doubtful to say you're gonna surpass Jalen Waddle.
He's just he's a different threat.
Yeah,
and so that's why the intrigue is there.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is not necessarily with what he brings on the field, but the other stuff, right? Like. I get it. I want everybody to get an opportunity to, you know, make good or correct wrongs. But don't you have to have that attitude, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He said his reason is he was just around losing.
But there's got to be there has to be, and I don't know what it does take for guys who think they're awesome, but there does have to be something to say when one of the worst teams in the league just gets rid of you. Yeah, you ended up in a good situation,
but that's my point. It like
does that register?
You're asking player, and this is where I was kind of getting at. You're asking the player to have enough awareness to realize where he is right now and what adjustments he needs to make his situation better. How often does that happen? Right? Like the we do it with coaches, we do it with players, organizations. The one thing that is the last to for them to get is the self-awareness to where they actually are or fit in.
Chris Carter?
I mean, he
going to Minnesota.
Going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he did become a different guy. Yeah. Chris Carter that's a good one.
I mean, Randy was obviously Randy's Oakland run was bad. Goes to New England is amazing.
Yeah, but see, and I would say this is that knowing Randy and that situation being bad, I would say.
Do you think that was part of the losing is contagious thing, though?
I just think that you ask. Here's the thing that as athletes or as players, sometimes you have a problem with. You bring in Randy, you do whatever you can to make sure you get him, right? He comes in. When you sign a high-level player or a player of that quality, that means when things go wrong, he got to answer all the questions, right? That's where it becomes a problem because you can't really say what it is. It gets frustrating. You're not winning. They brought you in to win. And now you're the spokesperson mysteriously for the team as to why you're losing. That's the frustrating part of that.
Yeah.
It's not the play or anything like that. Sometimes it's just the situation that you're in, having to be responsible to answer questions for people that you don't want to throw under the bus.
I can also just say, and I've never heard this guy talk, but I could just tell you as a vibe, Mike McDaniel, cooler than Eberflus.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is he cooler than Mike Tomlin?
I'm telling you,
man. Mike Tomlin kind of just like, I mean, it's like Mike Tomlin's he's certainly cool, but also like I wouldn't F with him.
Well, yeah. So just
I mean,
because
but
somebody's cool doesn't mean you should F with
look at
them.
the players. Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool.
Yeah, but Antonio Brown's resume is a lot better than Chase Claypool.
I understand that, but it still got to the point, right?
Yep.
I want it to work out because I think Chase Claypool is awesome. I do. But in order to get to that point, to get there, you first have to understand where you are. He has to understand where he is as a person, what he needs to fix, right? Like, you can't just put it all on losing because a lot of times people bring you in to stop losing. So if you then going to use the same excuse they using, and that's why they brought you in, then where are we?
Take a quick break. Back with more after this.